Not everybody who cheats on somebody else is the scum of the earth. Not every relationship that experiences infidelity should be thrown away, given up on. All right. See, I done lost a bunch of you already. Stay with me. Really, stay with me. Hear me out here. Like, not every relationship should be thrown away because sometimes two people actually want to work it out. They actually believe they have something. They believe in one another, and they believe that their love is worth fighting for. They believe that it's worth getting to the bottom of it. Yes, there's pain. Yes, there's frustration. Yes, there's a loss of trust. Yes, there is this trauma that happens because of the unfaithfulness, the betrayal, the infidelity, the cheating, the stepping outside of the marriage or the relationship. I'm going to give you all of those terms. They all mean the same thing. But what do you do when you're lost as to what to do, but you're still in love? You're still in love with the person who hurt you. You're still in love with the idea that we could have a great relationship and we could accomplish something powerful together. Maybe you got a family. Maybe you got children involved. Maybe you've been married for 5, 10, 15, 20 years and found out about some infidelity recently or in the past, but you don't want to throw away the relationship. This video is for you. I want to give you a framework for what to do. I'm going to share 6 words with you to help you think about what needs to happen because you are still in love, but you're lost. You don't know how to fix this. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. This is hurting and it's ugly. And people saying you're a fool for staying with that person. The person might even be ashamed that you haven't left them. Who knows? Y'all, it can get real weird when we talk about infidelity. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen a lot of layers and a lot of iterations of what happens. And sometimes you want to stay, but you're lost, even though you're still in love. And I want to give you, again, a framework, some handles for what to do so that the relationship can recover, you can heal, you can move forward and have the most amazing relationship life beyond what has happened to you. You know, I have a dear friend who was like a mentor to me, and he was a great, great guy, great man of God, brilliant physician. Like I was learning from him. I was spending time around his family. I grew up without a dad. So I was like watching his game, watching his flow, watching how he loved on his wife, how he supported his children, how he provided for them. He was a leader in his church, all of that. And then I got a call one day that he had been unfaithful to his wife. And he wanted to call me. He called me from one state on the East Coast. I was living in California at that time, but I had been in their home, stayed in their home for weeks at a time when I lived on the East Coast. And I was blown away. I was tripping. I was like, what? You? Not you? How could this be? And his wife said, Rod, we've decided to work on our relationship. At that point, they'd been married for probably 25 years or more. And they decided to work on their relationship. And I watched their relationship get better as they went on. Just about 2 years ago, she was killed in a car accident. And I was able to attend the funeral and spend time with their family. And I just could see in him, and as people told the story, that their love had actually grown stronger over time after the infidelity. And I'm trying to tell somebody, I want you to get this. You might be lost, but you can get back on track as a couple. Listen now, for some of y'all who's still in this video and you're hating, you're like, ain't no way in the world anybody gonna cheat on me and think I'm gonna stay with him. Hey, you get to do what you want to do. But your story is not everybody's story. I understand it hurts you. It was horrible. It was painful. I can't even really put words to what it must feel like to go through that. I want you to know you have my empathy. You have my care. I'm sorry for what you went through. My prayer for you, my hope for you is that what hurts you won't make you bitter. And maybe you have somebody who has decided to stay, um, a friend who's decided to stay and work on their relationship. Don't discourage them, right? Don't try to make your situation their situation. There's no wisdom in that. You got to give people room to make their decisions. And hopefully they're making the right decision. So, in an earlier video, I talked about whether cheaters can change, and I want to commend that to you. I want you to check that out because if you're thinking about moving forward and you want to know how to make the relationship better, recover, get to the root of things, then you want to get some, how shall I say, some handles on whether the relationship, the person who cheated, and more specifically, can change. All right, let's get into this. What's necessary? What does this process look like? It's not, let me just say, healing a relationship where there's been infidelity is not an overnight proposition. When people cheat on their spouse or their partner, something's been brewing inside of them for a minute. It's been working on them. This doesn't come up overnight. Like a one night stand didn't just happen one night. It happened way back in a person's life to make them the kind of person who, when the one night stand happened, it seemed like the best course of action. Maybe they were drinking and partying. Who knows? I don't know what went on. I'm just saying there's something that happens, and we got to give attention to the who, probably more than the what. Like, who is this person and who do they need to become so that this relationship can recover, so that they can help be a part of your healing process, right? And if you're the one who did the cheating, you want to be a part of their healing process, but you got to work on some healing in your own life because people who cross the boundaries, oftentimes with no regard, there's a reason for it. There's a why to what we do. All right. So let me give you 6 words. All right. Here's the first thing you want to look for. Is there humility? If you're not sure what to do, cultivate some humility. Humble yourself, right? Humble yourself, right? Especially if you were the betrayer, right? Humility is where you begin. I'm sorry for what I did. I was wrong for what I did. The way I hurt you breaks my heart, right? That's humility. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, right? If you need to talk to our pastor, if you need to, talk to some of our friends, right? I'm going to humble myself, and I will take the exposure because I want to get better. You want there to be humility. Humility is a game changer, right? Most often, people who cheat, and especially if they cheat in serial fashion, lack humility. But humility, God loves a humble person, just so you know. Like, he smiles on the humble. He gives the Bible says he gives grace to the humble. He gives grace to the humble. It might be painful, it could feel embarrassing or shaming, but God will give grace to a humble person. Grace simply means that God will show his favor, he will show kindness, he will show leniency where there is humility. So, you got to begin with humility. This is how you begin to recover. Now, again, I work with couples, and I have worked with couples for many years in the area of infidelity. And I know that a couple has the greatest possibility for transformation. And the person who cheated, who may also have a sex addiction or have some other challenge going on the inside, they have the greatest chance and possibility of getting better with this humility. We get transformation when we're humble. If you're not humble, don't expect very much. All right, so humility. How about this transparency? There's got to be transparency. You'll hear me talk about this a million times, but if the relationship is going to get better, if it's going to recover, you're lost, but you're in love, you're not sure what to do, how to fix this, there's got to be transparency. There can't be any hiding. The very nature of cheating and infidelity is hiding, secrecy. Like, you didn't get down in it, they didn't get down in it because everybody knew. No, it was hiding, secrecy. And that secrecy is often nurtured, and especially if the infidelity is more than one occurrence, right? There's a repeat setting up the system, setting up the time, trying to get to the spot, trying to make sure you dip in when nobody's seeing you, dipping out when nobody's seeing you. Some people are brazen. I understand, but usually there's extraordinary secrecy around it. Like people be looking at their phones, like putting their phone away. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want everybody to know what's going on because of secrecy. Now, if there's going to be the recovery of this relationship, there's got to be transparency. I don't have two phones. I got one. But my wife Sherry, my wife of 34 years, she already knows. She can go into my phone anytime she wants. She got the passcode. She can go through the email. She can go through any of my social media. She can go through anything, anytime, because I am an open book. And if you want to recover the relationship, there must be transparency. And so that's a decision. All of these words require a decision making from the Latin decidere, something like that, means to cut off, right? You got to cut something off. You got to cut off this idea that you can have your cake and eat it too. You got to cut off this idea that you can have a great relationship, but they don't get to be in your business. There's got to be transparency, openness, not defensiveness, not hiding, not secrecy. Integrity, huge word, huge concept for moving forward. When I'm coaching couples to get through this, I describe to them that integrity must be true in the little things. Like, don't say you're going to take out the trash and the trash man comes and goes and you haven't moved. You haven't lifted a finger to take out the trash. You're like, what's the trash got to do with recovering from infidelity? Everything. Everything. It means you do what you said you were going to do. Did I say that too fast? Let me run that back by you. Are you getting this? If you were the one who cheated, integrity matters because to cheat is to not have integrity. So do the small things so that you can start stacking some wins in the heart of the person you hurt, right? Just showing up like you said you were going to show up. If you said you were going to be home from work at 7, get home at 6:50, 6:45. Get home early, right? Integrity is simply doing what we said we were going to do. It is not being someone else or somewhere else when we are supposed to be this way. You understand what I'm saying? Like you don't want to show up as somebody else. You don't want your person, your spouse discovering that you're not who you said you were and that you are where you said you were going to be. The reason infidelity happens is because people are in places that they weren't supposed to be. Integrity keeps you in the right place. And it rebuilds, helps rebuild trust. When you keep your word, when you do what you said you were going to do, trust starts to grow. And trust is healing. I feel good about this one right here. I want you to get that. Right? Trust is healing. Trust helps heal you. Did anybody get that? If you can trust the person who once hurt you, you know you feel better. Trust is everything in a relationship, and integrity builds trust. It is everything. It is the foundation. Trust has at its root truth, and integrity is all about living your life in truth and consistency. All right. So integrity. How about this one? Honesty, similar to integrity, but honesty. Honesty simply means I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be emotionally honest, even though you may not like it. It may not feel good to you. I'm not trying to hurt you, but I want to be emotionally honest. I want to be honest as to the answer to your question. So, in other words, honesty says I'm not going to lie to you, right? I'm not going to pull a devil move, right? The Bible says that the devil, Satan, is a liar. He was a liar from the beginning. Lying is his native tongue. All he knows is lying. So when we lie, we're acting like the devil. Is that too heavy for somebody? Right. Well, what about the little white lie? I don't know nothing about no little white lies, little black lies. I don't know nothing about no little lies. A lie is a lie is a lie is a lie. Right. You want to be honest. hey, do you still find me attractive? Right? Your spouse, your partner might be asking. Right? You want to be honest. You can say, I'm struggling with that, but I love you. I'm here. I want to work this out. Um, did I do anything to make you want to cheat on me? Now, be careful right here. Be careful. I see everybody pausing the video. They're like, hold up, what is he about to say? Did I do anything to make you want to cheat on me? Maybe, maybe you did something that contributed to the environment, but nobody's responsible for anybody else's cheating, infidelity, betrayal, stepping out of the relationship. Nobody else is responsible except the person who does it. It's a decision. They have to decide to do it. However, if there are things going on in your relationship that make things funky, right? Let them be honest with you and accept what they're saying. Try to be open to what they may be saying. Now, if they're trying to blame you, do not accept that. Do not, for any reason whatsoever, unequivocally, do not accept blame for somebody else's cheating, right? That's straight up gaslighting. Never accept that. Oh, I only did it because you. Nah, you did it because you chose to. Well, I wouldn't have done it if you had sexed me up more, if you had done this with me and that with me. Nah, you did it because you wanted to do it. You chose to do it. And nobody put no, you know, make you do nothing. Did I just get off the mark here? Let's get back to my notes. Um, Honesty. How about accountability? Like accountability is huge. Accountability, the way I see accountability means that people can check you. I'm not talking about everybody, but people you trust, right? The person who cheated has to want to be accountable. They got to want to be accountable. They got to want people to ask him. Like one of the best ways to be accountable is when you're working with somebody like me. Like as a coach, as a marriage and relationships coach, my clients are accountable and they pay good money. That's how I know they want to be accountable. If you pay me the price that it costs to work with me, you want accountability and you want to get better. And guess what? I serve like I have lost my mind to help you reach your goal. Accountability is when you're willing to show up, you schedule your appointments, you show up on time for your appointments, you do the homework assignment, you do what's asked of you. That's accountability. And when you're asked a hard question, you don't dip, you don't dodge, you just answer the hard question honestly. Honestly, yeah. That's what accountability is. See, you might be lost, but you're still in love. But these are the things that you need to see happen on the journey to recovering your relationship. Because just being in love is not going to be enough. You need some very practical steps. And I'm trying to give you some practical things that you have to have. Now, let me just say this. Most people cannot do this on their own and recover from infidelity. In fact, I've never seen a couple fully recover, transform their relationship, transform their lives, their inner person, the who they were. I've never seen anybody just do it their way on their own. Now, I've seen people do things like, well, we're just going to, we'll let this work itself out. Let me tell you something. Infidelity does not fix itself. Like, don't be sitting around talking about, oh, we just, we're going to let it sort itself out. You are really tripping. You have lost your mind, right? This thing does not fix itself. It doesn't fix itself. You need someone who can help you, who can help walk you through the steps to recovery. It's a journey. There are parts and layers and there are twists and there are turns and the emotions run extraordinarily high. Otherwise, you are suppressing something and it's going to come out at some time as deep resentment or anger. So I'm just saying to you, um, be willing to take the path and the journey. And I want to share with you that we've created such a resource. It's a simple resource. It's the beginning. It is not the whole kit and caboodle, but it's a great book resource. Will be out in the next month called Rebuilding Us, the couple's guide to recovering from infidelity. And in this book, I share with you what these things look like, how to practice them, and what the journey is from discovering infidelity in your relationship to actually healing it. What does it feel like? What does it look like to overcome it? And how do we know we're making progress? What are the steps that we need to take? And what do we do when there are bumps along the way? Because there will be bumps along the way. But I'm telling you, these things that I'm sharing with you, the humility, the transparency, the integrity, the honesty, the accountability, and the empathy. That's the last one I want to touch on. If you're going to find your way, there must be a lot of empathy. Absolutely, from the betrayer to the person who has been faithful, right? They should have great empathy for what they're dealing with, what they're going through, how their world has been upended, and how they have they're facing triggers, and they're facing uncertainty, and their self concept and their self esteem has come into question. They're under extraordinary fire, the shame, the embarrassment, all of that stuff. Hey, do not be callous toward them. Show some empathy. Hey, I'm really sorry. It must be horrible for you. What was it like being at that event and people knowing that I cheated on you? How was that for you? How did you feel? How did you, right? Like, show you care about the pain, care about the journey that they're taking in light of what happened. And I'll teach you how empathy flows and how it goes. But you got to know that this is all the way up there. This is the one you want to hit out the park. You want to keep your foot on the empathy pedal, to keep giving the empathy more than apologies. Apologies are cool, but after a while, apologies get old. Empathy is how you actually rebuild trust and you help the other person begin to heal. So I mentioned the Rebuilding Us program. There's a book coming out, as I mentioned, but if you need some coaching, right, maybe you want to join one of our coaching cohorts. Maybe you want some private coaching that could be helpful to you. I just want you to know that there are resources available and that you don't have to do this by yourself. It'd be my honor to coach you if you're a good fit. Like, everybody's not a good fit, and that's okay. That's cool, right? There are other people who do this, and maybe you're a better fit for them. But I want you to know you have to have a process clear with somebody who's experienced. They know what they're doing. And I really want to see you not be lost in it all, but I want to see you move forward. That's my hope for you. That's my prayer for you. I don't even know you yet, but I want you to know I care about you. I care about what you're going through. I know it must hurt. I know it can be shaming and embarrassing, but I want you to also know you can absolutely recover from this. All right. I hope that this video was helpful to you, that you got some real value, some real encouragement more than anything. If you did, would you like, subscribe? Would you comment? Let me know. Shoot me some questions. Anything else you would like me to talk about on this topic or any other topic as it relates to marriages and relationships? That's what I love doing. It's what I do. I've been studying this for many years. I've been working with couples in professional sports and in business and in entertainment. I've been doing it privately, clearly behind the scenes. I'm not out there trying to tell everybody this is what I do. I just like to get in there with people and help them see change and transformation in their marriage, in their lives, in their relationships with their children. And we're seeing some extraordinary results. I've been doing this for 30 years and married to my wife, Sherry, for 34 years. She's been faithful to me. I've been faithful to her. And we trying to keep it that way. Holla at your guy. All right. I'm rambling now. Peace. I'm out. I'll see you in the next video.